Welcome to the Royal Daily Tea YouTube channel. Please be advised all of my videos are for entertainment purposes only, based 100% on my own opinion, my own theories, and my own research. All of my information can be found on the public domain and falls under the fair use guidelines. Please feel free to do your own research. Hello and welcome back to the Royal Daily Tea. I'm sorry guys that I'm late with my video. I am trying to do a Monday, Wednesday, Friday upload, but it doesn't always work out that way. You know, working full time and doing side hustles is no joke. But anyways, I am so happy to be back, and I just want to say welcome to all of my brand new subscribers. In January, I have over 900 new subscribers, and this month we already have over 56 new subscribers. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I really, really am honored and appreciate each and every one of you. But several people have brought it to my attention that for some reason YouTube has been unsubscribing people and they've had to resubscribe to my channel. So please make sure that you are subscribed and you hit the notification bell. I have over 70% of people who watch my channel are not subscribed. So if you're not subscribed, I hope you will take this opportunity to subscribe. We have a lovely group of people, but I just wanted to put that out there. Thank you and welcome to my channel. So are Harry and Meghan putting the final nail in the coffin of their credibility with their fight on freedom of speech? Now, in my last couple of videos, we talked about Spotify, which is the latest bandwagon that, of course, Harry and Meghan have jumped on. I have a couple of theories in regards to why. Personally, I believe they're not happy with their Spotify contract, that Spotify is now basically policing them and forcing them to put out content by hiring their production staff. I personally believe that they spent the money that Spotify gave them. I don't believe Spotify paid them the whole 18 million, but they probably got a million, half a million. They probably got a nice down payment. So if they leave Spotify, they probably have to repay the money. So this way, if Spotify, fires them, they might not have to pay it back. I don't know how it works, but it doesn't seem like it's going very well, especially when they made that announcement saying, oh, we're continuing to work with Spotify as long as they heed our threats on, freedom of speech and misinformation, right? Well, difference of opinion is not exactly misinformation, but again, the Duke and Duchess of Montecito love to talk about the spread of misinformation while they spread misinformation. I guess they know a little bit about that subject. So it got me thinking. And on the Oprah Winfrey interview, Harry and Meghan were talking about their security. They didn't feel safe. Meghan always said, well, I thought they would protect me. And I believe what she was actually talking about was that the royal family would not squash all of the negative press that was coming out about Meghan around the time that she got engaged to Prince Harry, and of course, right before the wedding. See, one thing about Meghan and Harry, but especially Meghan, Meghan likes to create this illusion of herself. She likes to have this little narrative where she's Ariel. She's trying really hard with Sunshine Sachs to go out and destroy anyone who says anything negative about her because, again, her and Harry, they want to police the internet. They want to police what's being said about them on social media. Well, you can't control that. People can have an opinion. Whether it's nice or not, you're allowed to have an opinion. But Harry and Meghan don't want people to have free speech. They don't want you to have a different narrative than the one they want to feed you. See, Meghan is thinking that the royal family was like the old school PR companies where they were just going to come in and clean it up. And there wasn't going to be anything negative about her. They were going to say she's a duchess. She does charity. Isn't she wonderful? She poops rainbows. She's Ariel. But when the royal family told her, no, we told you when you marry into the royal family, it's going to be hard. Every single person in the royal family has had horrific things in the tabloids, and they have that never complain, never explain. Well, Meghan really thought that they were going to do a PR number and clean up her mess. The royal family actually wanted Meghan to clean up her mess with her father and her family before the wedding. Do you remember that? They were like begging her, please go talk to your father. Let's get him at the wedding. We'll even fly him here, get your family here, because it wasn't looking good. And they had to have been wondering, who is this girl who has no family and no friends marrying Harry? And there's all this drama playing out in the tabloids. It is a mess. And the royal family, the way they handle it is they get to the root of the problem and they squash it. And they said, Meghan, please go talk to your father. And what did Meghan do? Meghan, and her ego and her need for control and controlling the narrative, said, oh no, 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 no. He's not coming to my wedding. He's white trash. He is beneath me. He's embarrassing. No, I'm going to have the future King of England walking me down the aisle, and I'm going to have my one black mother sitting there. I'm going to write him a letter where I'm going to say, Daddy, to pull on the heartstrings, Daddy, why are you so evil and mean to poor little old me? She wanted to write that letter to get it out to the public because she knew it was going to be in the public, to get her narrative out there, to say, oh my gosh, poor Meghan, she's Ariel, she's a victim, that her evil father, who just wanted to be part of her life, poor Meghan. Again, her ego and her narcissism have pretty much been her downfall. She thought that letter was going to ingratiate herself into the public, and they were going to see her as Ariel, but now she looks like Cruella de Vil. 3 years later, that blew up in her face. She literally could have avoided 90% of the negative press that has been toward Harry and Meghan, have been because of Meghan's actions, because of Meghan's treatment of others, because of her family drama. Seriously, if they wouldn't have done that Oprah Winfrey interview, and if she would have just made up with her family and said, okay, act right, put on your Sunday best, sit there and smile for the cameras, they would have done that because they just want to be part of her life. Now, I'm not saying she needs to be close to them, but there's that old saying, you get more bees with honey than you do with vinegar. You want to keep your enemies closer, not far away, giving them ammunition where they're constantly, destroying you in the press, which they're doing. They're running amok. So she thought, well, I'm going to put out all these fake stories, and then I'm going to help write Finding Freedom, and I'm going to slam my sister and fill it full of lies, and everyone again is going to believe my narrative. They're not, because your narrative doesn't match up with everybody else's personal experience with you. The truth is telling on you. You can't tell lies to keep covering 20 other people's truths. It's not a very good look when your family drama keeps playing out and you refuse to make up with them. She could have squashed all of this, but no, her ego and her need for control is basically going to be her downfall. Because if she would have wrote that letter and she would have made up with her dad, none of us probably would have known that she was, well, I think we knew, but we wouldn't have known 100% that she actually wrote part of Finding Freedom. She wouldn't have had all those nasty lawsuits that made her look stupid in the press because she wouldn't have anything to sue because there would be no letter, right? She could have saved so much negativity and press. Both of them could, if she just would have squashed her problems. But that's the problem with Harry and Meghan. They are their own worst enemies, and eventually their egos are going to be their downfall. Now, when Kate Middleton came on the scene, she was with William for 8 years before they were married. And during those 8 years, she was an average citizen. You never heard anything about Kate. You didn't have any ex-classmates, ex-boyfriends, work associates, ex-family members, whatever. You didn't have anybody coming out saying horrific things about her. She has been married to William for 10 years. And you still don't hear any negative things about people who've known her. You know why? Because she's a decent person. Then you have Meghan Markle. Meghan is a very ambitious person, and some people, they're movers and shakers, and they just want to surround themselves with people who are going to help them. There's nothing wrong with that. But Meghan is a very narcissistic person who will stop at nothing to get what she wants. And if that means moving a couple people strategically along, get what I want from them and move them, away from me, ghost them, that's what I'm going to do. And she's done that over and over and over again. And what happens is it's human nature. If somebody does you wrong and you think they're a terrible person, and then all of a sudden they get this major success and everyone's, oh my God, isn't it great? And you know they're a terrible person, you're not going to be happy for them. And you're going to be like, well, I kind of know something about that person. I'm just going to say it. So this is what happened. She's had a lot of people in her wake when she became globally famous that were like calling the press, And look, I don't blame them because it's a human nature. I'm not saying it's right, but it's human nature. When Meghan went from being a C-level cable actress to marrying Princess Diana's son, she became an international, overnight, global superstar. Princess Diana is known pretty much everywhere. I don't care what country you're in, 90% of the people on this world know who Princess Diana was. She was that famous. Okay? She was that famous. And if you marry her son, you're putting yourself up on the worldwide stage. And that's where Meghan wanted to be. So when Meghan married into the royal family, all of a sudden, all of her skeletons started popping up everywhere. And she was trying to shove them in a closet, throw them under the couch, and they just kept popping up, popping up, popping up. And even famous people like Piers Morgan, there was 2 or 3 other women, I can't remember their names, but everyone was coming forward with the story, yeah, Meghan ghosted me. She even ghosted her best friend of 30 years. Now that's really odd that when she got married, she had one family member. One. You have to remember, she had her father's side of the family and her mother's side. She didn't even have Doria's family there. So that is very strange for someone to be almost 40 years old, not to have any childhood friends, and no family at a wedding of 600 plus people. It's all Hollywood people. It's all people you've known from 2014. And she got married in 2018. So again, it's like Meghan Markle, her life began when she pretty much started Suits. It's like she tried to erase everything before that. She even got rid of her husband, mailed him his rings. She's like trying to create this fake little narrative, and now she's attacking free speech because she thinks, well, if we tell everyone that they're hate accounts and we need to start policing the internet for quote unquote misinformation, then we can suppress all of this stuff and it'll just be Meghan poops rainbows and she's Ariel. And Harry sits behind her, holds her purse, and feeds chickens. Remember how Harry famously said, it's bonkers that y'all have free speech? What? We got to get rid of that. What is that? It's like apparently he doesn't know how to read a history book and doesn't know how to read a room, that he's in America and that we left the UK for our freedom. And then you come here and tell us that we're bonkers to have freedom of speech. Because again, Harry and Meghan don't want you to have freedom of speech because then all their skeletons are going to pop up. They won't be able to suppress it. So that's why this whole thing attacking Joe Rogan is dangerous, because the woke people want to cancel you for not having their narrative, for not sharing that one viewpoint. And it's not about politics. It's important to have both sides. And Harry and Meghan have jumped on that bandwagon for their own selfish gain. They don't really care about, COVID, spreading misinformation. They don't care about that. They didn't care for the entire year that they were signed on, and they signed that check, and they knew that Joe Rogan was the #1 money-making podcast. I think it's worth $100 million. He was already doing that at the time they signed the contract. If they were so worried about it, then why did they sign a contract with Spotify? They weren't worried when they signed that huge deal with Netflix, and then they came out with the Princess Diana musical where they slammed his mother. He hasn't said crap about that musical. He's just trying to cash those checks. And he didn't say anything about The Crown, and then he made a big deal about Kristen Stewart and the movie Spencer. Of course, because he doesn't have any money. They're not paying him, so now he has a problem. Maybe they gave him a portion of the movie. Would he shut up? Right? He doesn't have any skin in the game, so therefore he has a problem with it now. I personally think I don't care what they put on their podcast is gonna tank. I'm sorry, but they're so unlikable. I don't ever see them coming back to being likable. I think this attack on free speech and trying to control the internet and trying to police social media, people don't like when you start coming for the freedom. So coming for Joe Rogan and free speech probably isn't going to endear them in the hearts of many, many Americans. Of course, coming after our First Amendment right to free speech, the way they try to control the narrative, their egos. That's going to be their downfall, along with them not producing products that they are getting paid to do. This couple is going to go broke and their reputation is going to be in the toilet. So I think the Sussexes are going to be in for a rude awakening if they keep jumping on the woke bandwagon. So what are your thoughts, guys? Do you think they made a huge mistake coming after our freedom of speech and going toe-to-toe with Spotify's #1 podcaster, Joe Rogan? Leave me your comments, guys, down below. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel. Please check out my website, royaldailytea.com, and also my other social media accounts. As always, have an awesome and amazing day. Bye, guys.